Here's the story of something a client said to me while I was doing her makeup that I will never forget. A couple of videos ago, somebody commented asking for this story, but honestly, I can't find the comment anymore, so if you guys find it, make sure you tag them below. This story takes place back when I used to work on boudoir shoots. And as I've mentioned before, for most of the women that would come in, this was a completely new experience. Some of which had never even worn makeup before. And it was my job as the makeup artist to make sure that they felt comfortable in what they were wearing and that they looked great on camera. At this particular shoot, I had about 5 or 6 clients coming in that day. The client that I'm focusing on this story came in somewhere in the middle, meaning she wasn't my first client, but she also wasn't my last for the day. When you're working on set of a photo shoot, things can get kind of hectic, especially towards the middle of the shoot, because you're constantly trying to clean your brushes and reset up your station for the next person to come in, which is usually literally 10 minutes after the last one left. When my client came in, I asked her if she had a photo of what kind of makeup she wanted, or if she knew the vibe of the photo shoot she was going to be doing today. I was really just trying to feel her out and make sure that we had a good starting point set. My client was very shy and she pretty much told me that she doesn't wear very much makeup ever and that she just wanted to make sure she felt beautiful. I pulled up some reference photos on Pinterest and asked her to look through a couple. After about 5 minutes of scrolling on Pinterest, my client looked up at me and told me she didn't want anything crazy, nothing too dark, and that actually she really liked the makeup I was wearing if I could just do the same thing I did to myself that morning. I don't remember exactly the look I was wearing that day, but I do remember it was something very simple and something that just made me feel pretty. I was extremely flattered, and so that's the look we did. I made sure to keep her foundation light, give her some nice warm tones in her contour, and really work with the eye shape while giving her something natural and beautiful. Other than that, my client didn't really say much. I could tell that she was a very shy, nervous woman. Right before she got up out of my chair to go into the photo shoot, I handed her a mirror. And like I said, she was extremely shy. She didn't really say much. But she did tell me that she loved it, and then she got up to go get dressed for her photo shoot. After that, my next client came in, and then the next, and then the next. And kind of in the back of my mind all day, I just kept wondering if that lady really did like her makeup, because she really didn't say much to me at all. And it would make me feel absolutely terrible if she didn't feel beautiful in those pictures. When I got home after the photo shoot, I unpacked my makeup kit, started washing all of my brushes, and I got a text message on my phone. It was from the client that I had been thinking about literally all day. She said she just really wanted me to know that she really appreciated the makeup I did for her earlier, and that was the most beautiful she had ever felt in her entire life. As a makeup artist, getting that text message was absolutely incredible, and that became one of my favorite parts of doing makeup, is that whenever they get out of my chair and look in the mirror, they feel absolutely beautiful. The look I did in this video is something that makes me feel beautiful, and I would love to see what makes you feel that way.
In college, you get a lot of free stuff, and by that, I mean you get bags of rubbers. Any kind you can imagine, flavored, glow in the dark, any colors you want, like they have them all and they keep them in little bags. And I became a very frequent customer because you don't have to pay for them. They just give them to you. And honestly, people really like when you're like, you want to try bubblegum flavor? So about my third time stopping by the booth, they say, oh my gosh, we notice you come here a lot, which means you should also get tested for STDs. And I was like, okay, because you guys provide such customer service, I suppose I'll get tested. And the testing was free. So I do it, and they're like, look, if we find anything we don't like, we'll give you a call, but you probably shouldn't have to worry. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I actually was kind of worried because I had just begun seeing this guy, and his name was Garrett, and he did theater like me. He was funny, he was talented, he was nice, and I had just been seeing him a lot. So I was like, I think this can work. Fast forward like a week, I'm hanging out and I get a call. And I'm like, what's up? And they're like, you have chlamydia. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a breakdown. I was freaking the fuck out just because I was like, I don't even know where I got it from. And I would say where I got it from, but then this story would just be sad. And on the phone, they're like, you're gonna have to come in, you're gonna have to take these pills, and we're gonna have to ask you some questions. I'm freaking the fuck out. I go in and I'm like, what are the questions? And they're like, name every single sexual partner you've ever had, write them down, and now you need to contact them all to tell them to get tested. Hi, my name's Adrian. I gave you chlamydia. That's what they wanted me to do. That's what they wanted me to do. And I was going to do it because if you don't do it, it's fucking illegal. By the way, it's illegal. So who do I have to tell? Garrett. I have to tell Garrett. Hey, Garrett. I know everything's going great, but I gave you chlamydia. I call Garrett and I'm like, hey, Garrett, I need to give you something. No, tell you something. He's like, you can tell me whatever. Come over. I come over and I hang out with Garrett. I grab both of his hands and I'm like, look, I know we only had protected, but you need to get tested because I'm a carrier of chlamydia. And I start crying because I really liked Garrett. And oddly, Garrett's really sympathetic. Garrett grabs my hands and he says, hey, don't feel bad, all right? I have something to tell you that might make you feel better.
Really, Garrett? What is it?
I know exactly how you're feeling right now. It's so hard.
Oh, what do you mean, Garrett?
Well, last year I infected the entire theater department at Mizzou with chlamydia through a chain reaction. So I've been there.
Not the same, Garrett. When I was in school, I was bullied a lot, and honestly, I don't even really judge these kids. I was weak, and they saw that, and as nature implies, they took advantage of it. Specifically the neighborhood kids. I won't name any names. But I was kind of like just like the kid that was like around to like just be pushed around or picked on. Like literally one time we were even walking home and two of the girls were like walking behind me and like they were laughing really hard and I was like, what's so funny, guys? And they were like, we were just like joking about pushing you in front of one of those cars. And like obviously I didn't laugh nearly as hard because all I could think about was dying. But this actually manifested into a series, a rivalry, if you will. I wasn't really down for this rivalry though, because again, like I was weird. I liked God, I liked reading, and I liked boys, but only boys that were in emo fashion. I was a simple girl and I did not cuss. And one day at school, the neighborhood girls came up to me and the leader of them, let's call her Alice. Alice walks up to me and she's like, so you think you're better than us? And I'm like, what? Because I played cello, you know? I wasn't walking around with my cello case, coming out of orchestra, acting like I owned anything, let alone an ounce of social standing. So I was just confused. And I was like, I don't think I'm better than you, Alice. And Alice was like, yeah, you do. You don't talk to us at school. You think you're better than us. You walk around. You think you're so cool. And I was like, I really don't think I'm anything. And then she says, let's fight. Let's fight right now. And there's these kids that are starting to circle around us. And I'm like, I know I'm going to get my ass beat. So I would prefer if we didn't fight. Except it came out sounding like, no, thank you. My mom says that girls aren't allowed to fight, so I would like to not fight. And she's like, no, let's fight right now. And I was just like, look, I don't want to fight you. And you even talking to me makes me look bad. I don't know where the fuck that came from. I'm pretty sure I heard it in a movie. Like I heard it in a movie and I was so ready to use it. And I thought it was so fucking cool. And she goes, oh yeah, your dad divorced your mother because he doesn't love you and that's why he doesn't want to be around. I kind of just, everything went silent because like nobody had known that my parents were divorced. So I just walked away and I cried. Just in a corner 5 feet away, and everybody agreed it was a little harsh. And then fast forward to the 8th grade dance, she said something shysty to me. I don't really remember, but I think it was something along the lines that I looked fat. And so I decided to cuss for the very first time, and I said, what the shit, Alice? What the shit is wrong with you? What the
Okay, I have a story, and if you'll excuse me from smiling so much, I'm just like a little tipsy. But I was in 5th grade and I wanted to be in the talent show, but I was way too scared to do it by myself. I originally had one of my friends like plan it with me, and we were going to do a duet and a planned dance to Fergalicious by Fergie.
Which, like, now I, like, even think about it, like, that's not really that appropriate for 5th graders. But it's what I chose because I loved Fergie and my mom didn't watch me. I had done the costume designing. I got my mom's floor-length fur coat, a pair of heels that didn't fit me. And I'm not gonna lie, I was, like, the brains. I was the choreographer. I was the person who had definitely put the most work into the performance. And unfortunately, I have my partner step out on me.
And the way that the talent show worked is you had to try out for the talent show and then you made the talent show. The trying out though was actually just like in front of your class. So like the 5th grade class would see you try out for the talent show. And if you made it, you could be in the school-wide talent show because you were talented enough. So my partner backs out and I'm just like, holy shit, who am I going to get to be my partner? Hold on. Oh my God, I literally have a yearbook. Shut up. I'm looking for it. Hold on. I found it. Oh my God, I almost broke my phone. That's me. That's what I look like. So imagine just this girl doing this before you see the story. And I called upon this girl. This was the neighborhood girl in my neighborhood. And I was like, look, girl, you're gonna have to perform Fergalicious with me. Do you have what it takes? And she was like, yeah, I'll perform it. We get on stage. This bitch doesn't know Fergalicious. I'm there with my entire fur coat, my big ass sunglasses, and I was new in town. I had just gone to the school like I just transferred, and this is my big debut. And I'm like fifth grade, and I'm like, Fergalicious, I am promiscuous, and this body tastes delicious. Because again, I cannot stress enough, I did not have an active parent. And you know what she does? She abandoned me. She left me in my floor-length coat. And she made me finish Fergalicious by myself. And I didn't make any friends after that. I know I told y'all the story about Seth, but there's another Seth who caused me way more pain than my great emo king, Seth Waffles. That's what he went by the way. He went by Seth Waffles. But this Seth was local. He was a homegrown asshole. Like, ever since I was little, I hated Seth. I was childhood friends with this guy named Justin, and he was best friends with Seth. And if Justin was hanging out with Seth and I was in elementary, I ran my happy ass upstairs. He creeped me the fuck out. And he wasn't like weird, like, he was popular. He was way more popular than me, but the way he looked at me, I don't know. There was something so dark and fucking twisted behind those little blue eyes. And he had no eyebrows. He had like pale ass eyebrows. So fast forward, we're in junior high. I look like this. Don't laugh. This is how I look like. This is a real fucking picture of me and not Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. There was something about this face that just, it made people filled with rage. Like I was targeted. Like I was random, I was cool, and I didn't deserve what happened to me. So that sweet girl, she's excited because she gets to go to Slitterbond. It's a junior high trip, and even though it's my worst fear, wearing a swimsuit, I'm like, this is gonna be the best day of my life. I pick out my swimsuit, I get my things together, and I'd actually just been bitten by a brown recluse. I had an open wound in the back of my leg, but even though the doctor said I couldn't go, I wanted to go, so I was in pain, but I went. And I'm getting on the bus, and Seth and Sebastian, his stupid little friend, come up to me, and they're like, and I'm just clutching my open wound, and I'm like, how may I help you? And Seth is like, oh, Sebastian wants to ask you something. And Sebastian looks at me and he goes, do you want to go out with me? Clearly it was a joke. You guys saw what I looked like. And I knew it. I knew it was a fucking joke. So I was like, stared at them. I was being abused at home. I knew when somebody was fucking with you, and I was just like, I'm getting on the bus and I'm gonna enjoy my day anyway. After riding in the bus alone, I'm on my way to get the free lunch under the pavilion, and a group of super popular kids stops me. The most popular girl comes forward. I'm just trying to get to the pavilion again, free food. And she's like, really fucking cruel, bro. So I heard Sebastian asked you out earlier, but now he's actually going out with Alexia, so I think that means he asked you out as a joke. I freeze because I'm in my mom's one piece, and I'm chubby, and I'm chafing. And I was like, yes, I get it. I'm being made fun of. I get it. And you think it would end there, right? No, because my life's a joke. Weeks later, Seth comes up to me, and he has all these papers, and he said, I got everybody in school to sign them. And I say, what? And he says, it's a petition for you to be nicer to me. And I was like, are you not tired of this, Seth?